Welcome to Cory's Conscious Living.
Hi friends, it's Cory here. I just wanted to remind you that if you are one of my biggest fans of Heidi, Cherry and Vaya stories, don't forget to talk to your parents or your guardians to see if they'll let you join the cat club. Go to the link down below that says Patron and you'll find all the information that you need to know. By joining the cat club, you automatically get 3 exclusive Heidi, Cherry and Vaya stories every month that no one else gets. Only cat club members get them. So they're not here on YouTube or Insight Timer or my podcast channel. If you can join, I'll see you there every month on the 7th of the month for your 3 exclusive stories. Namaste, my little friends. Enjoy your meditation story. Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Be as still as you possibly can. No squirming or fidgeting or scratching or whatever you do. Try and stay still and quiet so that you can start to relax for bed and listen to a story. This is a very magical story. It's a story about a boy called Jessy. There's a few things that Jessy didn't like to do. One of them was brush his teeth. The other was clean his room. The other was homework. And many, many more things that Jessy didn't like to do. But on this particular night, he was getting ready for bed and he was brushing his teeth. Just recently, he'd been told by the dentist that he needed to brush his teeth better than he was brushing his teeth. He needed to brush his teeth all the way to the back so he could brush the back of his teeth. He needed to brush each side, the outside of his teeth and behind his teeth. He needed to brush in between and also floss. It all sounded very annoying and very, very tedious and boring and way too complicated. Who wants to spend that much time brushing their teeth? Thought Jessy. But for whatever reason, on this night, with his new toothbrush that he got from the dentist, he decided to put a little bit more effort in and brush his teeth really, really good. Just like the dentist said. The dentist actually made some silly reference about him having a magical smile if he brushed his teeth, just like he told him to every day. Yeah, whatever, thought Jessy. Didn't really take it serious, but you know. When he brushed and brushed and brushed, he brushed the fronts, he brushed the backs, he brushed the tops, he brushed behind, he brushed in between, and yes, he even flossed. For the first time that year, and it was September already. And then he smiled at himself in the mirror, and for a moment, just a flash, it felt like some magical ding went off in his head, like his smile was something very, very magical. He went to bed, got laid down, got himself all comfortable. He read a couple of pages of his book, turned his nightlight off, and started to fall to sleep. He found himself in a new dream. Not had this dream before, but he decided it was one of his new favourites. He really, really liked it. In his dream, Jessy went downstairs. His mum said to him before school, "Did you finish your homework last night?" Jessy said, No. His mum started going crazy. "I told you, you needed to finish your homework. You never listened to me. You're going to get such bad grades, blah, 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 blah." It started to sound like a screaming song in Jessy's ear. And then he smiled at her. His magical smile. His smile that makes the sound ting. His winning smile. And his mum stopped shouting. In fact, his mum saw his smile, just smiled at him and said, "Oh, it's okay, Jessy. You don't have to do your homework this time. You're such a good boy. I'm sure you'll be fine." Jessy liked this dream. Then, when he got home from school that day, his mum had cooked the worst ever meal. There was at least 4 different vegetables on the plate. 4 different vegetables. I mean, who in the right mind wants to eat that many vegetables, thought Jessy. You could just do with 1 vegetable per month, I'm sure, and you'd still be healthy. He thought that vegetables and eating healthy was a load of rubbish. Something the farmers had made up so you eat more vegetables and they make lots of money, he thought. He sat at the table, slumped his shoulders, and made a sound over his plate. His mum said, "You know, that's very disrespectful. I've spent so long cooking, blah, 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 blah." And she was going on and on and on once again. And Jessy decided to do his magical winning smile. He looked at his mum and smiled. Ping! His mum stopped shouting. "It's okay, Jessy. You don't have to eat your vegetables," she said. "In fact, I was shopping today, and because I love you so much, and you're such a good boy, and you're the love of my life, you're the star in my eyes, I bought you your favourite ice cream." Jessy said, "Cool, thanks, Mum," walked away from the dinner table, grabbed the ice cream, and started to make his way upstairs. This dream is cool, he thought. He got to his room. His room was horrendous. It was like something had died in there. It smelt bad. It looked bad. It looked like he'd not picked up anything for at least a year. There were dirty socks, dirty clothes. There were old plates. There was a couple of science experiments on his plate where things had started growing on top of old food that who knew what it was? It was very, very, very disgusting. His mum followed him into his room. "Oh my gosh, this is absolutely horrendous. How can you live in this, Jessy? This is a representation of who you are, you know. When you have such a mess like this around you, it's absolutely disgusting. Get this room tidied. How many times have I been telling you this month to tidy your room? Blah, 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 blah." Jessy smiled at her. His winning, magical smile. Ting! The sun shined off his teeth. The magic happened. Then his mum said, "Don't you worry about this room. I've been thinking about cleaning this room for you because you're such a good boy. And, you know, it wouldn't take me very long. In fact, I think I might start to clean it every week for you so you don't have so many chores because you're so busy playing and doing your video games and other things like that. I'm just going to leave you alone." "Ah, you're such a good one. Thanks, Mum," said Jessy. This dream is the best, he thought. Finally, his mum shouted upstairs about 3 hours later, "Shower! Get in the shower, Jessy. I don't think you've had a shower all week. Do you know how disgusting it is if you don't shower every day at your age?" Jessy heard the blah, 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 blah. He walked to the top of the stairs. His mum was shouting things at the bottom of the stairs, and he did his winning smile. Ting! Stars burst out of his mouth. The earth stopped spinning. His smile was so amazing, so electrifying, so magnetic now that he brushed his teeth properly. His mother just paused. She stopped shouting. She stopped doing her mumble, mumble, mumble. She stopped nagging. And then she said, "Jessy, I've been thinking, You don't need to shower tonight. You smell so nice. You always smell nice. Let's just let you shower whenever you want. You're such a big grown-up boy now. You can decide when you want to shower. I trust you." "Ah, thanks, Mum," said Jessie. "It's about time." And then he walked back into his room. He jumped on his bed and laid back, put his hands behind his head. Decided he was like the coolest kid in the planet. Can you imagine having a winning smile like that? How many kids would pay for this smile, he thought. And then he fell asleep. When Jesse woke up the next morning, he brushed his teeth. Really brushed his teeth, for real. He brushed them so good, like they were shining pearls of light in his mouth, beaming starlight for real, because he brushed them so well. And he flossed. He decided he was going to have a winning smile, no matter what costs. He was going to make his dream come true. Can you imagine? He thought, if I could just do a winning, magical smile at my mum, and she says that kind of stuff. How cool is that? And all it takes is brushing my teeth. Easy. I'm on it. Brush your teeth, kids. Because you never know, right? You might get a magical, winning smile, just like Jessie. The end.